Hi Diego, how much did you get for your internal assessment?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Viewing the world but only seeing the rankings and grades. How many trophies do I get for completing this CAS activity? Is this a 10-mark presentation?
Forever quantifying.
How lame is that?
8. So I'm Bill.
And I'm Diego.
Here we are going to present the ToK presentation.
Yeah. Viewing the world, sometimes we have to quantify qualitative data. But for what need?
Currently, there is a student holistic performance evaluation system of the high school affiliated to Tsinghua University, aiming to evaluate the holistic performances of students.
This system considers students' aspects such as academic performances, physical health, mental health, social activities, and so on. The local government expects to utilize this system in more high schools in Beijing.
So, what do you think about this? How valid is this evaluation system? I think this system can provide a student evaluation system for college. It seems good enough, isn't it?
Well, the holistic evaluation system tries to use numbers to evaluate students' performances in different aspects and calculate the overall scores. But it is hard to establish an objective rubric to evaluate the students.
Yeah, I think you got a point. Even if quantifying such aspects using a given rubric will also, to some extent, neglect the unique aspect of students. Therefore, it is hard to establish a system to quantify qualitative aspects of the student.
So, to what extent can this evaluation system quantify students' performances?
Then, let's develop this statement. To what extent can knowers quantify qualitative knowledge in human science?
To explore this knowledge question, we firstly need to define the meaning of some words.
So first, quantitative versus qualitative. So quantitative data is designed to collect cold, harsh facts, like numbers. Quantitative data is structured and statistical. It provides support when you need to draw general conclusions from your research.
Qualitative data, in the other hand, collects information that seeks to describe a topic more than measure it. For example, impressions, opinions, and views.
Yeah, from this graph, we can see a vivid expression of quantitative and qualitative data. We can get the knowledge of the quantity of chessmen according to the definition. This is a qualitative data.
Sure, on the right-hand side, we could say that there are many chessmen are crowding together forming a loom. This, by definition, is qualitative data.
We define quantity as to scale the qualitative data into numbers.
And is quantify. Quantify is to scale qualitative data into numbers.
Okay.
And we define the validity of quantified data as the extent to which the quantified data can represent the unquantified data.
And we define the feasibility of the quantification as the measure of time and effort to quantify qualitative data.
Sure, but what do we do with these definitions?
How about let's try to analyze some knowledge claims and see if it matches with our real-life situation and other situations.
No problem.
Well, actually, I think that quantifying qualitative data can make researchers able to efficiently evaluate and mathematically present performances.
Seriously, are you going to quantify all the things?
Yeah,
Why?
by quantifying things, I could mathematically present the data and also use math, this logical and valid discipline, which I like, to process my data in order to utilize all valuable information in my data.
Oh gosh, can you explain it in a simple way?
It is easier to apply statistical analysis and answer general questions based on an objective comparison. It also adds credibility to the research.
Well, kind of makes sense, but
But
quantifying qualitative data will lose the knowledge behind data, including emotions, the reason for the data, and process to gain the data.
numbers are faster.
But you lose knowledge behind numbers.
But numbers are faster.
But you will lose knowledge
God.
behind numbers.
Well, let's see our real life situation. Isn't quantifying student performance a faster way of evaluating them?
Yeah, but it loses the uniqueness of students. Say I can interview students one by one and analyze their transcript to evaluate them. This is actually far more accurate than evaluating them using that system, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of true. However, how much time do you need to interview a student?
Well, who knows? 20 minutes?
Let's do an elementary school level mathematical calculation. There are 20 minutes for each student and 1 million students in total. You need thousands of hours to evaluate them. However, with the help of my evaluation system, I can evaluate them in less than a minute. I can even evaluate the whole student in this whole country if I want. In this case, your feasibility is much lower than mine.
Okay, I admit that makes sense. But what if I have only 10 students to evaluate?
Well, in this case, I admit you have a more complete and valid information than me, so probably an interview will be made.
Dear audience, what can you conclude from our dialogue? Isn't it the size of the knowledge influences the feasibility of quantification?
Yes, you are so smart, Junior Diego. Indeed, the amount of data has an influence on the effect to quantify the data.
Yeah, if the amount of the data is large enough, the benefit of efficiency of quantifying the data will overweigh the importance of knowledge behind the data.
And also vice versa.
Yeah. So what else can influence the validity of the quantified data?
Well, I also believe that it is highly correlated to the way of knowing we use to generate knowledge.
So you mean that the way of knowing used to quantify data can influence the validity of the quantified data and the feasibility of the quantification method?
Yeah, for example, I know you play violin, right?
Yeah.
So recall your violin level examination. How do you think your performance is evaluated by the judge?
Well, the judge has a marking rubric in his hand, and remember it measures my intonation, my rhythm, and my hand shape, oh gosh, and the number of mistakes I made probably is counting. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Well, I believe for audiences, we usually include emotion when we are judging a piece of music. For example,
Evaluation.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, it is something you really like. That a song most people appreciate because it conveys strong and sad emotion.
Yeah, I see. In the violin level examination, the judge also gave me some additional marks based on their own interpretation of my performance. Therefore, the emotion counts when the judge gives my scores. Oh, wow.
That makes sense because the popularity of a piece of music is proportional to the emotion it triggers among the population.
Indeed. In this case, the judge uses emotion and reason to quantify the performance of a piece of music. Reason brings the credibility of the evaluation, and emotion adds the perspective of social conventions to the evaluation. It combines the slow conscious process of evaluation to the fast unconscious process of evaluation, and therefore makes the evaluation more valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see another example.
Okay.
Closer to our presentation. Remember how will our PPT is judged?
PPT. Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it the marking rubric?
Yeah, the marking rubric that our teachers use. The rubric that quantifies our performance in our presentation into numbers. What way of knowing then do you think it has to use?
Well, teachers must have used reason.
Yeah, correct. Reason is the basic and also the most important way of knowing. As teacher wants the extent of understanding of the knowledge is positively correlated to the degree of the focus on the knowledge question through the presentation. Teachers have to make sure that the more presentation focus on theory of knowledge, the higher the score is.
Wow, as an audience, I'm impressed by your presentation. Wow.
Thank you.
And it must use language as well. Look at the rubric. There is a sustained focus on knowledge question. In order to match the performance of the presentation to the levels, teachers have to think how much is sustained. How many times do students need to mention their knowledge question in order to get some focus or limited focus? This depends on teachers' comprehensions toward the word limited, some, and sustained. But isn't this evaluation too subjective?
Yeah, I think it is. Like, the comprehension of limited and sustained may be different between us. Well, there's another judge who marked the presentation, remember?
Yeah.
He marks the presentation again, and to help our teacher to help to verify the validity of the qualification. By this means, the comprehension towards the words are generalized towards a shared knowledge, including the paradigm and social convention of the society.
So, combining all the three ways of knowings, not way of knowing, but ways of knowing because there are three, and the validity of the rubric evaluation is guaranteed.
Yeah, the rubric is formed using various ways of knowing.
In another example, sometimes teachers only employ emotion when they are marking assignments. As the rubric these teachers follow are purely based on emotion, the quantified mark cannot measure the real performances, and by definition, therefore, the quantification is invalid.
So, summarizing the rules, if data is quantified through both emotion and reason, the validity of knowledge remains. If the data is quantified through reason only, validity will decrease a little because it loses the perspective of social convention.
Therefore, our second claim stands by itself. The example supports the claim.
So here comes our conclusion after analyzing these two claims.
Yes, conclusion. The extent to quantify qualitative data depends on the benefit of the quantification and the validity of the quantified data. The larger the amount of qualitative knowledge, the more benefits knower can gain by quantifying the data.
Absolutely. Moreover, it is important to use both reason and emotion to ensure the validity of the knowledge.
Referencing back to our real-life situation, there is a huge amount of students to be quantified by the evaluation system, and obtaining a quantified evaluation is therefore far more useful than retaining the details of each student.
Moreover, the rubric of the evaluation system is established by social conventions and reasons. And reason is used to apply the system to evaluate a student as well. So, the validity of the quantified evaluation is greatly retained.
In other real-life situations, such as qualitative research, the amount of data is small, so quantifying the data will cause a loss in validity. Therefore, it is not a good idea to quantify the research data.
So, for another real-life example, when you are going to buy a car, it's more useful if you have a holistic car evaluation system, right? So, in a car evaluation situation, there are a lot of type of cars aiming at different types of consumers.
Yeah.
And the amount of data is pretty huge.
Yes. So, if there exists a multi-way of knowing method to quantify the data, to quantify the car, so balancing each factors of the car, then the validity of the quantification is guaranteed. Okay, and this is our theory of knowledge presentation.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.